Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. We have three more talks left. But before we get started, I want to thank the sponsors again, Chancellor's Office, Center for Global Exchange and Education, KUKA, and Kilohana, um, and others. And as you listen to today's presentation, if you could kindly scan the QR code for the evaluation survey, that'd be greatly appreciated as we look forward to doing future events. I'm kind of excited for today's talk. As most of you know, the person presenting pretty much needs no introduction. He has a well-standing reputation in the community, and he has a great contribution to KTA Superstars. And so I want to welcome him here today to talk about business and about going through business and whatnot. Mr. Derek Kurisu.
Thank you, Kobe. Man, it is amazing now. Hawai'i high school grad, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Carla and I were talking that, we went to Hilo High, but didn't have any Hawai'i high school and during those days, Carla. And I remember Carla, she was on, hey, I worked for KTA for quite some time, and she was just a small girl over there shopping with the mom. So it kind of threw me off here. But I want to thank all of you for inviting me here today. And I see my son's babysitter over there. That's how old I am, my son's babysitter. You really took care of him, so thank you very much. I was born and raised in a sugar plantation of Akalau, just like Mr. Sunahara, right over there. And it was a really incredible, amazing place because, we all knew and worked together as one team. We worked together as a family. And the thing about it is that we all knew everybody has strengths and weaknesses. As you see Reed, he's tall, so he could easily pick the mango. Yeah, and me, I'm big and fat, so I could eat the mango, So we knew everybody's strengths and weakness, which was really, really good. And we actually, we didn't have anything, right? But we all had something because we all had great volunteers, we had great leaders in the community. And you asked Mr. Sunahara, we were very poor, but we had baseball, basketball, we learned how to survive fishing, hunting, we could do anything. And we did it, and I think Reed can tell you this, Mr. Sunahara can tell you this, that to today, we still think about all those that volunteered and sacrificed all their life for us. And not only them, it's their families. They volunteered a time to make us who we are today. And for that, I'm always really, really grateful for. And I always tell people that, they are my real heroes. They are my real heroes that really made us who we are by volunteering for nothing. That's how it was, right? So here I am. I worked for KTA for 57 years. Can you imagine that? 57 years. I worked for high school because in our days, everybody had to work. If we didn't work, we couldn't go to college. We couldn't get an education. So we all had to work. So we worked from high school. And I was able to get a job at KTA. And after Hilo High School, I run down and work and catch a bus and go home. But it was really interesting. Then I had graduated. I came to here. Yeah, I came to Hilo. And the librarians hated me because I didn't have an indoor or outdoor, but I just one voice was all outdoors. and every time I see a librarian, quick you got like this. You know that? Yeah? They don't even talk. They just go. So, this library here, as soon as I walked into it, I got kind of nervous, sir. It's not my area, Yeah, but I worked for KTA 57 years, and you know what is really amazing? Right now, we computerized, the employee count is over 12,000. 12,000 employees went through the company, and a lot of them, are very successful today. And I'm number 11. Can you imagine that? I think right now I'm the oldest working employee at KTA. Amazing, yeah? Number 11. In fact, we give stars for every 5 years. and my badge ran out of stars, so they gave me a big gold star. So, but you know what is amazing, right? When I first got this job, we never had a vice president in the company, right? So I first got the job. And I asked my boss at the time, Tony Taniguchi, wait, what am I going to do, right? Do I have to just work when you're not around? You know, that's what vice presidents do, right? I don't know. So I said, no. So think about what your job's going to be. So I sat outside on the bench of KTA for 6 hours, just sitting down, watching employees, watching customers, walking in, walking out, watching employees walking in and walking out. I would see some of the ladies coming out with the children holding their dress and crying, Mommy, Mommy, I want candy. I would see some of the men in the car just perspiring. I know the wives are in the store talking stories with their friends. You know, I would see some coming out smiling, some really upset. And at that moment, I realized my job was to solve people's problems. My job was to solve people's problems. They had $10 and they needed to get a meal for 3. I had to go and solve it. You know, they come to the store, they need something to buy for the kids' excursion that they're going to go tomorrow. I have to solve it. You know, my job is to solve people's problems. You know, it's not just working at KTA anymore. You know, so, you know, with that, I started to think to myself, wow, you know, it's really, really important for me to think about everybody's job. So whether you're a doctor, you're an educator, you're a plumber, you're a parking lot attendant, I always realize, I say, wow, your job is to solve someone's problems. They come to you for a service, they want something done. And it becomes your Kuleana to make sure it's done. And it's done and making them happy. Going out there smiling, right? And it is really amazing. So one of my things is that because I know that is part of my job, one of my major things at the store is sampling products. And this is how you look like when you sample over 15,000 items. Yeah, just like this. Yeah? You know? But because I have to realize that I got to be on customer myself. I got to make sure that I can eat everything and see if it's okay, right? I do all the cooking in my house. I do all the shopping, you know. And I realize that is so important because if I'm not the customer, I cannot play like the customers, how can I serve them right? So I am the customer in my house. And the amazing thing about it is that when I first got married to my wife, who's now a second grade retired teacher, she told me, Derek, if you want to be a really good supermarket businessman, you should really learn how to do all the shopping. You should really learn how to do all the cooking. You should really learn how to wash all of these. And see all what the housewife have to go through, wash the clothes, clean the house. And you know what? I did it, right? And I started realizing that poor ladies, they work so hard. They come home, and they got all these things that they got to do. And for me, I got to make the meal preparation easy, right? So my wife convinced me. So till to this very day, all our years of marriage, I still do all the shopping. I still do all the cooking. In fact, I make breakfast for her before I go work. Yeah. I try to do everything. And for me, that becomes really important. Yeah. So because I know my job, the purpose of my job is solve people's problems. Many years ago, when the sugar plantation went under, I felt, wow, it was my job. Tony Taniguchi, our former president, told me, you know, Derek, when the sugar plantation ever goes under, it becomes your job to make sure that you help all the families, because without them, KTA wouldn't be what it is today. The economy will go bad, so you make sure you do what it is to go help them. So 30 years ago, I was thinking how I'm going to do it. Then I came across this Japanese character. It's called Kiki. And Kiki means crisis. But you know what? The first character of Kiki is danger. And the second character of Kiki means opportunity. So what it happens there is that whenever there's danger, whenever there's a crisis, there's an opportunity. So when the sugar plantation went under, I looked at it as an opportunity for KTA to move ahead and do things that was so different from all of the other markets. So I attended gatherings at the sugar plantation meetings, met all my friends. At that moment, I had people there with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I think today Mountain Apple Brand is the only program that survived all these many 30, 40 years. I created new businesses and helped existing local business created many, many new jobs. But most of all, KTA started to focus on local. Not only local food, but people, businesses, and also organizations. So Kiki, when there's a crisis, there are many opportunities. And it's really, really fortunate that we have moved into a really heavily emphasized local. Today, we have about 25 different business partners and about 220 products under the Mountain Apple Brand label. Every product is locally grown or manufactured, creating jobs in the local economy. Let me give you an example. We focused on creating value-added products. Instead of commodity products, utilize it off-grade and surplus of fresh agriculture products. Here's an example. We don't just have sweet bread. I started to create coconut sweet bread. Man, this burger is, oh no. You know what burger is, right? Burger. You get this sweet bread, right? You cut it up, you put it in the toaster. And when you eat it, the coconut says, wow, bite me, man. This is like so unbelievable, okay? Now, if you guys stay around, you guys might win this. So don't just leave and dog me halfway through the program, okay? Yeah. So we started, so I always say, we always look at value-added products. Agriculture products is amazing, right? But what do you do with off-grades? What do you do with all the stuff that, the grade Bs? So I always look into ways to how I can utilize these value-added products. We started many new businesses, like we had this hairdresser, Gladys Arata, and somehow she had some unfortunate things happen to her. So she came to me and she said, oh, Derek, I want to start doing something in your store. So we sat down and said, what can you do? She said, oh, I'm able to make mochi because my mom makes mochi. So she's my mochi lady now. She makes me chichi mochi, she makes me ohagi, she makes me ozoni mochi. And this is one I convinced her to make. She thought I was crazy, but yeah, the peanut butter mochi. and I said, I don't want just one. You better stick around. You might win this. Yeah, this is just fresh. I just brought them this morning. So I told him, I don't just want the peanut butter. I want something with crunchy because I like the nuts inside, right? So this one here, when you bite them, man, I tell you, the nuts goes crank, 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 crank. Oh, it's so delicious. Okay. Yeah, so, we made many different products. And here you go. This is a kind of like interesting one, okay? In 2016 was the centennial for the volcano observatory. And it was kind of interesting because in 2016 was also KTA's centennial. We started in 1916, yeah. So we both were 100 years old. And the crazy thing about it, they came to see me and they wanted me to create something that was so different. And they wanted me to make sure that people understood that they're 100 years old. So I came out with lava cookies. So I got 5 different flavors. I only brought 2 here, but I have coffee lava, taro and nut lava. I have like hot lava. It's like red and it's like spicy and it's hot. I have passion lava. Hey, those lava cookies, these lava cookies, it sells a lot during the Valentine's. You know that? The passion lava and hot lava is the biggest selling item during Valentine's Day. So this is kind of like amazing. But I have all these different type of cookies, and I always say I have 5 different kinds to meet the 5 different needs of people. So, you know, everybody have different wants, and everyone have different needs. My wife, when my son went after babysitting service over there, my son went off to the mainland to school, and my wife refused to have me buy hot dog or hamburger buns. Anyway, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, you get 12 hot dog buns and 8 hot dogs, and it doesn't match. Yeah, so, and she said, no, you cannot buy. We're throwing away all because you only eat 1 or 2. So I said, wow, man, it's a crisis, man. I got to turn this crisis into an opportunity for me. Because I don't want to eat the hot dog in plain bread. Ooh, that's like gross, right? Huh? So I came up with any kind bread. Mountain apple bread, any kind bread. You want hot dog buns? You cut them this way. You like hamburger buns? You cut them this way. You like rolls? You cut them this way. You like sweet bread? Yeah, sweet. You can make rolls. You can make French toast. You can make anything with this. Oh, any kind bread. This kind, that kind, any kind. So now I buy any kind bread. And I can cook anything I want with my any kind bread, and no more this kind of white bread, hot dog, or hamburger. No way. Any kind. In fact, whoever wins this any kind bread, they're going to be so happy because it just came in. When it came on the shelf this morning, oh, you could smell them. Oh, it was unbelievable. Okay. So and there's a lesson behind this, right? There's also a lesson. When growing up, yes, in Hakalau, we always we don't waste anything. There's always a coffee can by the sink, and all the rubbish went in there. Then we put it on this big can here, and the buta kaukau. You guys know what is the buta kaukau, man? Huh? You know. It's these guys that used to raise pig. They used to come with a stick and 2 big cans, and they used to go and everybody's home and take all the slop and go home and feed the pigs. Waste, right? They learn how to turn waste into energy. So today, all of our slop in the store is given to the buta kaukau man, given to the pig farmer. He comes pick it up every day. He gets the pig, the slop, he feeds the pig, and we buy back the pig. Can you imagine that? Talking about recycling. I mean, it's like the ultimate recycling, right? And all of we give the zoo the first crack, though. They'll come, they'll take all the fruits, and they'll bring them to the zoo so they can feed the birds and everything else. But that is given to the buta kaukau man. For us, recycling becomes really important. So, all our cardboards and plastic, we sell them back to the mainland. And we also, all our cooking oil goes to Pacific Biodiesel. They create diesel with it. So we're very, very in touch with taking care of the Aina. Okay? Now, one of our hottest products here, and I think your mom made this, right? Your mom worked for the bakery, right? She made this thing called date bars, and it's on the Mountain Apple brand. And it's real amazing because, a lot of our workers in our stores, they bring their homemade recipe they want to share with others. And if you eat this, I tell you what, you're just going to smile the whole day. So whoever's grouchy today, you eat this, you're going to be smiling. Incredible. Yeah, so today, 95% of our leafy produce is all locally grown. We kind of focus on local, right? In fact, all our beef, about 55% of our beef is all locally grown. 100% of our Mountain Apple brand milk is all locally grown. We're the only local milk in the whole state of Hawaii. So we have really moved heavily to try to help the farmers, right? And keep everything here on the island. So due to mainland competition, all of a sudden, we were stuck. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys this. We also had, because there was a major crisis during the COVID pandemic, we started this thing called pop-up kitchens. We had all of these restaurants. So now we have 8 restaurants making us stuff, bringing it in the store. We have florists that close the doors, they bring making salads for me. We have all these flowers. We have 5 plant operators and we have 5 lay vendors. And this is like the result of that. Like I brought this. Oh, this is really good. Nori's Okashi bento box. What is Okashi is like? Woohoo! Amazing, yeah. And it's a yummy gummy bento box. So understand, when you eat this, you cannot stop. So you guys might think, hold up, plenty, right? This is nothing. Yeah, one TV show is gone, right? One TV show. But this thing here is so delicious. So we had created that, and we have somebody coming to make us musubi. This musubi just came in this morning. Okay? So yeah, whenever there's crisis, like Mountain Apple brand was created, we also now are creating these pop-up restaurants. Yeah, and it's kind of like really caught on. So one of the things that because of mainly competition, we started to be we needed to have a mainly private label, and Barry Taniguchi's dad, and now Toby is my our CEO. The grandfather and I were very close. And after his wife died, he took me on trips to the mainland, and we would go and study different kind of situations. So I decided to create a label under his name, and this is when he was born in 1916. This is when the store was founded, and this is when Toby's grandfather was born. And it's kind of interesting because everything, the good stuff from outside of the island is a 1916 product. All the local products that we have is a Mountain Apple brand product. So this is local, and this is everything outside. Now, we have some really unbelievable stuff. I grab good, amazing food service product and have it rebagged. Just like this tempura mix. You guys make this tempura mix. You guys make tempura and get instructions over here, so you cannot go wrong. Instructions. You try to make this tempura, right? I tell you what, man, your spouse is going to tell you, I want to eat tempura every night. I want to eat tempura. It's so amazing. It's like from the highest, finest tempura restaurant. Yeah, right over here, tempura mix. Okay. And we have things like, because of Trader Joe's. I get mad. I see everybody come over with Trader Joe's stuff. I said, what kind is? I'll make my own. So I got a whole line of 1916 like Trader Joe items. It's kind of like interesting. Everybody go Trader Joe's, yeah. It's an amazing place. So yeah, when there's crisis, there's also opportunity. And now we have I created this TV show called Living in Paradise. And it was about 28 years ago. It was because there was so much negative publicity. Every time I picked up the paper, didn't have editorial from our chancellor, but no editorial. Everything was negative. Somebody killed somebody. Somebody's doing this to somebody. In fact, that's how the paper is today, but the news is so negative. I said, I'm going to create one media where everything is going to be positive. I didn't even know how to use a camera. I didn't know anything. But I found one partner. I told him, he was unemployed. He was a musician, so I needed music beds. Yeah? And so he and I, we started. So I told him what we want. And so we created a show called Living in Paradise. And the amazing thing about it, everything had to be positive. But, I said, we sat down, and we got to show at least 100 people on every show. So we had to count 100 different people. And the thing what is important is I know Hilo guy, they like see themselves. That's why I made sure I have 100 people, so that's the way it would catch on, right? Then the thing really caught on because there's there was no positive news. So I had a 1 hour senior show and a 1 hour family show. Because the senior said, oh, what about us? I want my own show. So we created a 1 hour show. Now, on the 1 hour senior show, it was really interesting. It kind of took off to many different things. So I go to senior centers and I try to cook for them lunch every once a month. I'll go to one center, cook them lunch, or and talk to them because I feel that they're so important. And So I have that show, and with that show, it came this whole thought that, wow, I walk in the store, I see this senior man holding the wagon. They think the wagon is dirty, so just with the fingers. They don't know how to shop. I said, oh, what happened? Oh, my wife's sick, and I don't know what to buy or what to cook. Oh, my wife passed away. Oh, I'm sorry. And I don't know how I'm going to survive. So then I made it a point that on the senior show, every man should know how to cook. Every man should know how to cook. So I started to make quick and simple recipes, make cooking fun. And the wives would come to me, oh, Mr. Kurisu, so thank you so very much. Now my husband can microwave his poo-poo. I go, okay. And guess what? My husband can make rice now in the rice cooker. Whoa! And some go tell, oh, so now, Mr. Kurisu, can you teach him how to wash clothes and clean house? I said, I am sorry, I'm not a magician. But it's so interesting because, with that, I really believe every man should know how to cook. And that evolved to this whole thing, right? It was Super Bowl 4 years ago. I was looking at our Instagram. We hardly had any people following us. So I came up with this whole thing called Man in the Pan. Now, Man in the Pan is an interesting. I cook everything in this frying pan. Everything in this frying pan. I boil, I cook, I do everything in frying. I try to make quick and simple so everybody would think it's cool and use the pan. And I think with this, Ace Hardware sells this pan. I think they sold like about a container loads of this whole thing now. And once you guys use this, you're gonna want to cook every night. Yeah. Yeah. So hey, go show your husband. Yeah. And the thing about it is that it plays on YouTube. You go YouTube / Man in the Pan. And the other day I was kind of amazed. So I'm fooling around my chat GBT, right? It's kind of I said, write me a song about Man in the Pan. I should have brought the song. Hey, music and all. I was like, holy moly. Hey, wrote the song of Man in the Pan and all these words. Yeah. But yeah, one day you might hear it on my TV show. So how does all this start? How does it, get involved and be innovative in many of these different things? What was really a turning point in my life is when I went up to Oahu. I was going to school there. And my friend said, Derek, can you bring home manapua? They're like, manapua. Okay. So I went to this place called Chahun Sat. No more Chahun Sat, no already, no. But Chahun Sat, there I saw this big, fat Chinese man. His t-shirt was all dirty and like puka puka and all that. And he had this big, shiny Chinese knife. That kind of big knife. And, on the side of him, remember, a big door of manapua door. So he would grab the door, you go, cha, 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 line them all up, all with the knife. He was so good, kept on going, line them all with the knife. Every so often, in the back, had all these obedient, small Chinese old ladies slaving, all steaming and all that, man, prepping all the stuff. He would turn around, yelling at them with a knife and pointing the knife at them. And the ladies, I stayed there for over half an hour just watching the man. And in fact, I went back again because I said, wow, this Manapua man, he's an ordinary person. He has an ordinary job, but he's doing extraordinary work. I said, I'm going to be like the Manapua man. I want to be the Manapua man. I want to do things that's totally different. And that time, to go to school, I was a journeyman meat cutter to support myself to school. So yeah, I would kind of like hold a knife, like, make oily in front of the window, and you know what I mean, yeah, But that became very important, And I always tell everyone, you're an ordinary person, ordinary job, but you do extraordinary work. And that is what counts. So how do you become that Manapua man? I'll tell you guys a secret. Okay, we got Spam. If Spam sold for $3 and Libby's luncheon meat sold for $2.50, which one would you buy? See? Huh? If this, in fact, this is on sale for $2.49 and this sale for $3. This morning, look at the shelves of Spam was empty, right? But wouldn't you want to be the Spam that people want and willing to pay more for, right? Instead of a Libby's luncheon meat, you don't say, oh, give me a Libby's luncheon meat, eggs and rice. Give me a Libby's luncheon meat, musubi. You want a Spam musubi. You want a Libby's luncheon meat musubi, right? And that's what Spam did, right? They want brand. They learn how to brand themselves. So all of you on brand, I'm a brand, Hilo's a brand, right? We all brands. And it becomes really important that all of us do really well so it paves the way for other students here at the university. Oh, yeah, I'm a graduate from University of Hawaii. Hilo. Oh, wow, what a great worker. You got any friends or you got other people? And when they look at the application, wow, they did real well. Because, whenever you do well, it paves the way for everyone else. And that becomes really, really important, right? And that's what we learn when we grow up in Hakalau. No shame the family name, like Reed would do something bad. Hey, the grandmother said, hey, Reed, don't do all that because, you're embarrassing me. So all of a sudden, it's all in our mind. Because we represent our family. We represent a brand, like our family name. So it becomes really important for all of us to exceed and do real, real well. And that was a secret, and that was a motivation that all of us growing up out in the plantation. That's what motivated us to become the best in whatever we can do, to become the Manapua man. So I live with this, I want all of you guys to really think about it, right? You're a brand, I'm a brand, we're all a brand. Organization we belong to is a brand, KT is a brand. So whenever I go places, I know I'm representing the brand, right? And I try to do my best and go all out and make it happen. So, with that, I thank you, and hopefully, you guys become the Spam and learn of it from the Manapua man. So, with that, I got one video, but you know what? I got all this stuff here, so I want to give it away. First of all, I want to know whose birthday is today. You guys are going to win this pen. 40, 50. Okay, whose birthday is in March? Oh, March 1.
March 18th.
18. 31. Okay, who wins? Who wins? 31. Okay, come up here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to sing happy birthday to you. Although your birthday is not here, not yet, but we're going to sing to you because, you celebrate birthdays. Here you go. Come, we're going to sing happy birthday to you, okay?
Happy birthday to you. Come on, she's alive. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Care.
Day to you. Happy birthday from all of us here, yeah? And we wish you have an amazing, awesome birthday. Thank you. Okay. Now I got. Hey, by the way, with the pen, you gotta be carrying the pen around, so you can put it in this bag. Yeah. I'll give you this bag too. Kind of embarrassing, carrying the pen around. They would say, wow, University of Hawaii Hilo, wow. Yeah, got a frying pan. Okay, so I got all this stuff up here, right? And I'm trying to think how I'm going to give it away. And the way we're going to give it away, whoever asks me questions can come up and get something. Okay, go ahead. Take whatever you want. Come on. Ask me a question.
Still have cows on the milk cart, on the ice cream carton?
Oh, you're so smart. You remember that? Huh? You know, our ice cream, we don't have the ice cream anymore, but we are creating one. Come, take what you want. Okay, next question. Come on. This is how you get your class to participate. You bring stuff in the class. Come on. You guys have learned something right now. Okay, come on. Next. Aloha. First of all, thank you for this honor. My name is Kurisu, and I'm the Executive Vice President of KTA Superstores. You know, this global pandemic crisis is changing all of our lives. Being born and raised on a sugar plantation with limited resources, I grew up in an environment full of disasters and crises. Through this experience, I've learned whenever a disaster occurred, instead of being defeated, I always found solution and a way for improvement of my life. Due to this crisis, I will take this opportunity to do something very, very different. My speech on the floor of KTA. You see, about 27 years ago, a major crisis, the closing of the sugar plantation here on Hawai'i Island. Unlike a typical business trying to survive and stay in business, we created Mountain Apple brand products to help create jobs, business opportunities for displaced workers, and also trying to help improve our island economy. This effort helped our company focus on supporting local products, local business, local people, which I think helped KTA survive going on 105 years. So when there's a crisis, there's also many opportunities. The reason why I'm standing in front of our dairy display, our first Mountain Apple brand product was milk. A period when there are 7 dairies in the state of Hawaii and the start of mainland milk entering our state. Today, there's only one Hawaii dairy left, and it is on this island producing Mountain Apple brand milk. A package, unlike most boring milk cartons, here's a picture of a cow in a beautiful Hawaii pasture with Mauna Kea in the background, and it almost says moo moo moo, buy me. Yes, here again, whenever there's a crisis, you have to know there's always an opportunity. Every retailer is able to sell a grade A perfect product, just like cabbages and oranges. But what do we do with agriculture surplus, off grades? What do we do with agriculture waste, which contributes directly to the farmer's bottom line? We need to support local manufacturing that adds value, improve shelf life, enable products to be stored and shipped throughout the world. You see, local manufacturing turns crises into opportunities. Macadamia nuts, coffee, dairy, pineapple, beef, taro, ulu, and so on are dependent on local manufacturing. Look at Pacific Biodiesel converting recycled oil to create diesel and also creating macadamia nut and sunflower cooking oil. Again, they found an opportunity for a cooking oil problem. And Kuleana rum, amazing company converting sugarcane to amazing tasting rum that can be stored and shipped throughout the world. Again, found an opportunity for a crisis that occurred 27 years ago. So think about it. Just like how manufacturing has added value to agriculture product, education and work experience has added value to you. So you are now a value-added product, not a commodity like thousands of others who you might be competing out there for a job. Here I am in the canned meat aisle. I bring you this can of Spam and this can of Essential brand luncheon meat. And I ask you, if Spam sold for $3 and the luncheon meat sold for $2, which one would you buy? I'm sure it is the Spam. If there were products on the shelf, wouldn't you want to be the Spam instead of the luncheon meat that people want and willing to pay more for? Like Spam, we are a brand. Hawaii is a brand. KTA is a brand. I'm a brand, you're a brand, just like a can of Spam. You know, I once spent days on the floor and outside of KTA trying to understand how we are able to better serve our customers. After observing and listening to our customers, I realized they didn't come KTA for the price, the service, the cleanliness, the variety. It was more than that. People came to KTA because they had a problem. What I'm gonna eat tonight? What I'm gonna make for my son to take on his excursion tomorrow? What I'm gonna bring to the party? You see, if we cannot solve the problem, we create more problems. They need to go elsewhere or change their plans. More so, they might go to the competitor and never get back. So I thought about it. The purpose of my job is to solve people's problems. Regardless of what you do, think about it. You can be a doctor, a lawyer, a farmer, a researcher, a dishwasher, a parking lot attendant. Isn't your job to solve someone's problem? Oh, I want to end by saying, if you are a professional and be the best in what you do, you're not a commodity like thousands of items sit in the shelves at KTA. Work hard. Stand out from the rest. And if you do, you will also improve your company brand, paving the way for future growth and opportunities for others. I also want to say, KTA, founded in 1916, and I work for KTA going on my 56th year. There were so many employees who sacrificed their life and their family life to make KTA what it is today. We really need to thank our former and current employees. We also need to thank our former and current hardworking suppliers and loyal customers who for generations patronized and helped KTA. Today, many left us, but they will always remain in spirit and in our hearts. Personally, for me, I work for them and try to make KTA even better because that is the only way I'm able to thank all of them. Yes, that is my motivation. And finally, we need to remember there is no I in team. We need to work together, contribute in our area of strengths within and between organizations as one big amazing family. So let's all work hard to make Hawaii the greatest place in the entire world. And you might also score that 100 grand payday bonus for your excellent work with hugs and kisses. Good luck. From all of the former and current employees of KTA, we want to say thank you and aloha.